meeting and felt like you were being challenged. Perhaps someone was asking you a question, but you had this intuitive feeling that it was not directed in the most appropriate way. And you just aren't sure how you should handle it, what you should do. Well, this video is definitely more of an advanced video for women in leadership because I'm going to share with you my steps, strategy, my algorithm to address situations that come up when you are being challenged in a meeting as a woman in leadership. Now, I'm going to share with you my over 20 years of experience as a manager, as a C-suite executive, as a director, to provide you with a starting place when these situations happen. Because oftentimes we are not prepared for these situations. And at the end of this video, I want you to have a very solid understanding or solid framework that you can follow to help you at least get started in terms of addressing these situations when they come up, when you feel like you're being challenged. Now, this is a live video, meaning that there is a point in time on YouTube where people will come and join the live. Bear with me because if you're watching this video right now, you are watching the replay, and I'm glad that you are here. I'm really excited to learn more about you and what specifically you have experienced when you were challenged in a meeting. But I will say hello to those individuals that are joining because they are joining live. So just bear with me for a few moments while I say hello to them. I will go into those particular strategies very, very shortly after that to give you a solid framework for you to start working with when these situations happen. When you've experienced challenge in your meeting, most of the time there is a couple of ways it can go. It could be either you are in a group setting and someone has a problem, or they don't quite understand what's going on or what you're talking about, or it may be something that could be a genuine ask that they have. So I want to say hello to all of you who are present. Hello, Honda Boy. Hello. Welcome. If you find this topic interesting, you absolutely want to stay to the end of this meeting, regardless of if you are a woman in leadership or not, if you are in any form of leadership role. If you've ever been challenged at work, this is the video for you. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn how to start addressing those issues and present yourself as that amazing leader. And if you like this content, then subscribe to the channel. I talk about these type of situations, those challenging, those complex situations every single day here on YouTube, Tuesday through Friday now. So follow me, join, subscribe, be happy to have you here. Let me know what part of the world you are joining from today so we can say hello to each other. And if you have any questions, if you've ever been challenged at work, and you want to know how you could address it or questions you have when these situations come up, put them in the comments below. So Joanne, hello, welcome, Joanne. All right, hello, welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the strategies, and this is a live video. So if there is a question that you have specifically related to leadership, executive communication, executive presence, and really going to that next level in your career by showcasing yourself as that amazing leader, then this is the place for you. Alrighty, so let me see what's in the chat. Honda Boy, okay, I'll sub not for this, but just want to support you, dog. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. And if you're interested in trying to elevate yourself as a leader, then I welcome you just to come back and visit. I appreciate you being here and appreciate your subscription as well. So what happens when you are in those situations where you're being challenged at work? I have a specific algorithm that I do in my mind anytime I am challenged at work. Now, you may be wondering, well, how do you know this? Well, I've been in these type of situations. I've been in very friendly and very contentious situations over my past 20 years as a C-suite executive, a manager, and a director. And so I want to share with you what will help you if you are being challenged at work in a leadership role. So the first part of my algorithm that I would say is you have to figure out, where is this going? When someone challenges you at work, either they are going to be asking you a direct question because they don't understand something, or maybe they're trying to give you a hard time. It could be one of the two. And so the first step of my algorithm that I do in these situations is that I have to determine, is this person genuinely asking a question because they do not have the answer? Or is this person trying to directly attack me in some type of way publicly in front of a group? So that's the first part of my algorithm. So let's say the algorithm starts at top. And the reason I say algorithm is because I'm a doctor, and if any of you know about basic life support or advanced cardio life support, there's a lot of algorithms that go into it. And so when I thought about this topic for the live today, I thought of it in the form of an algorithm, because that's literally what I do. So you have to determine, okay, is someone genuinely asking a question because they really don't know, or are they trying to challenge you and give you a hard time? So you have to make that determination first. That's the first part of it. So let's say, for instance, the person genuinely has a question. Maybe you presented some data, you presented some information, and you are not exactly sure. They don't know what the outcome is. Maybe there's something you mentioned that wasn't clear. No problem. How would you respond to this particular person? So the next step of my algorithm is to determine, okay, we have a person that is asking a genuine, legitimate question. Like they literally do not understand what I said, or they're not clear about what I mentioned about a project, or whatever the case may be. The next step that I do personally in my mind is I determine, where is this conversation going? Because this can either be a friendly conversation where we're just exchanging information, I'm clarifying something, or it could be an unfriendly conversation, meaning that they're asking a question, but it's the way that they're asking it, even if they genuinely do not understand, comes across in a very argumentative way. So that's the next part of my algorithm. Once I determine, let's say it's a friendly ask, and this is a friendly conversation, then I would simply go into their question. I would want to know more information. How can I clarify it for you? What specifically did you not understand, and etc., and provide them with that specific insight to help them understand what I'm trying to explain. Now, let's say we've went through that part of my algorithm and conversation's done, everything's fine. Then that conversation is completely finished. Okay. The other conversation that I mentioned to you, remember I said it's either going to go into a friendly or an unfriendly way. Then you have to determine, how are you going to respond? Can you respond immediately, or do you need to buy yourself some time? How many of you have ever been in a situation where you were being challenged in a meeting at work and you did not know how to respond? Let me know in the comments below. This is something that happens to a lot of my clients, and we actually go into this in a lot of detail in my transformative leadership experience called The Real Executive Woman, where we talk a bit more about how you can start to develop yourself in such a way to where you're enhancing your executive presence and you're placing yourself in a position where you can actually respond to challenging situations when they come up very quickly, instead of fumbling and rambling and not knowing exactly what to say. Now, if you've determined that this is going to be an unfriendly conversation, and as I mentioned, you have to determine, can you respond immediately? Meaning that, can you speak immediately to what they are asking? Or do you need to buy yourself some time? Now, next part of my algorithm. If you feel like you can respond immediately, then do so. Then go ahead and respond immediately. The tone of voice that you use is very, very, very important as a woman in leadership when you are responding to someone who we have determined in our algorithm that is asking a question, but they are asking it in an unfriendly way. So if you can respond, you want to respond in a very direct tone of voice. I have a few videos here on my YouTube channel. Check out my live videos. That's where all of the magic happens, I would say. I spend most of my time live right now for the time being. And I have a video specifically that talks about tone of voice. So check out that video. It's a live. It will give you some insight. And there's a lot of other videos on my channel that talk about lives as well, that talk about tone of voice and how to manage your tone of voice, how to adjust it. I have some short videos that talk about tone of voice. This is my area of expertise in terms of communication, using your tone of voice to make a bigger impact. And that's part of me being a public speaker for 20 years. But That's a separate conversation. So just make sure you're using a very direct tone of voice. It doesn't have to be argumentative. You just need to respond back in a very clear, authoritative type of way in terms of the response. So that's if you already can immediately respond to the challenge. Can you respond to the challenge or not? Now, if you can't respond to the challenge, that's okay. You need to buy yourself some time. You may be wondering, what do you mean? How do I buy myself some time if I'm in a meeting and someone's in front of me and they have directly challenged me? I've determined it's not going to be friendly. How do I buy myself some time? Well, this is what you do. Ask them a question back. Most of the time, if you feel like someone is challenging you, then you have to determine that you need to be very clear in terms of specifically what they're asking. So use what I do specifically. Whenever I'm challenged in a meeting and someone challenges me and I find that it's a genuine ask, or they may just have a question, but it's the way that they're asking it, it comes across as very unfriendly, then I literally will ask that person if I feel like I need to buy time. If I do. Most of the time, I don't need to buy time. But for anybody that needs to buy time, then you will want to ask them a question specifically about their request. And I would say, can you please clarify specifically what question you have? Most of the time, I've found that when people are asking unfriendly questions, they are not as clear as you would like for them to be. And oftentimes they need to be rephrased anyways so that you can fully understand what specifically they are asking for so that you can address appropriately. Now, this helps you in multiple ways. One, it helps you to have time in your mind to start processing and thinking very quickly of how do you want to respond to this. Because if you're in a meeting setting and you are public, you do not want to place yourself in a situation where you are not responding to a challenge. Please do not do that. Challenges do not necessarily mean they have to be argumentative conversations or debates. That doesn't necessarily have to mean a challenge all the time, but you do want to make sure that you respond. Why? Because how you respond and how you handle the situation will either increase your executive presence and elevate it to that next level, or it will cause it to go down in front of everybody in that meeting. And if you're watching this live video and you are subscribed to my channel, or you are following me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or any other platform I have accounts on, you know by now that the information I'm sharing with you is to elevate you and to help you communicate at that higher level than your peers. So when those challenging situations come up, you are prepared for them. So you want to make sure you respond. You have to respond. There's no way around it. You can't leave. You can't fumble it. No, you have to respond in a very clear and concise way. I have several videos on my channel that talk about how to be more concise in your communication. So as I mentioned earlier, please take a few moments to look at some of my live videos. Take a look at the titles. There's videos about speaking concisely and speaking clearly there. Now, we've determined that this person is asked a question and we're trying to figure out, we're buying ourselves some time. We don't know exactly how we want to respond, but we know we have to respond. So if you ask them, can you please clarify what you are saying, or what specifically are you asking about? Are you asking about this metric? Are you asking about this project? Are you asking about details of this specific task or initiative? Make them repeat the question. Let me share with you why. This isn't necessarily part of my algorithm, but this is part of the psychology when somebody is trying to challenge you. If you put that question back to them, and depending on their level, they may be at that higher level where they can communicate with you back and tell you exactly what they're asking. However, often I see when people are asking those type of questions, they may have some emotion with them. And so their emotions may be involved where they're asking those very direct questions. If you take a moment and you ask them to repeat, or you ask them to clarify, you ask them to explain, then what happens in this particular scenario is the person is most of the time caught off guard. They weren't expecting you to say anything back to them. So they're like, oh, wait, she said something back, or he said something back. What am I supposed to say? Now, this is what happens in their mind. They have to think about the question they asked you and think about how they want to rephrase it. Why is this important? One, it shows the room that you are in that you can respond to a challenge, like you are ready to go for this challenge. That's the first. The second is that it allows you to have more time to think of your response if you need it. Now, you may be in a situation where you can automatically respond and go for it, but there may be times when you strategically may need to use this approach, even if you don't need to buy yourself time. So an example of this would be as follows. Let's say you have a conversation with someone and they are challenging you. They're challenging you to whatever the situation is they want to have some clarity on. You know that this particular response is something that you can say. You know, you can say this immediately. You don't have to think about it. You know exactly what they're asking. However, if you feel like the question was asked to you in a way that was disrespectful or very rude, then this may be an opportunity for you to showcase your executive presence. You can do this by asking them to clarify, because majority of the time, as I mentioned, people will be caught off guard that you even ask them to clarify a question, and they're going to have to start thinking, and they may ramble and say, well, I meant specifically to say this. Okay, that buys you time, but it also showcases your executive presence. So if you like this information so far, feel free to give me a thumbs up on this video. I am sharing with you what I have learned in very friendly and very contingent situations over the past 20 years that I teach my clients in our executive strategy sessions, where we work together in a one-on-one setting to get you to that next level in your career, to help you come up with a very solid game plan to move forward as a woman in leadership. And in the Real Executive Woman, we go into these type of topics in detail, and I work with you to make sure you're at a place where you feel comfortable handling those very challenging situations, or you have a good foundation to do so. So we've talked about situations where you can buy yourself time. So if you have to buy yourself time, this is how you buy yourself time. And I've shared with you how buying yourself time can be used strategically to showcase your executive presence, depending on if you feel like the very first part of my algorithm is this going to be a friendly conversation, or is it going to be an unfriendly conversation? You have to determine that first. Now, I want to know from you, from anyone that's watching the replay or the live, let me know. Okay, my audio and video went out. Sometimes this happens. Actually, let me not say sometimes. This happens a lot on YouTube Live. For some reason, it just goes out. So I'm sorry. I've watched the replays. When it does it just picks up automatically. But what I was mentioning before, my audio and video just took a break for a moment, is that when you have these situations, whenever they come up, let me know in the comments below. I definitely will provide you with whatever insight I can to help you navigate some of these more challenging and complex situations that come up as women in leadership, or if you are on your leadership journey and you happen to not be in my target audience of women in leadership and you're subscribed to the channel, then I know you care about your leadership journey and you're wanting to go to that next level, and this may happen to you too. So feel free to put something in the comments as well. But this is exactly what I do in my thought process, my algorithm, to handle situations that come up when you are being challenged in a meeting at work. You have to go through the initial part of this algorithm. Now, if you want some support in terms of how to go to that next diff, let's say you've covered the first part of my algorithm, you've checked it off, and everything is fine, and you're in the right place. And let's say you get to a part where you meet somebody that is really trying to argue back with you. Well, how do you respond? Well, this is something that we talk about a bit more in the Real Executive Woman. We go into this in a lot of detail. That is my Transformative Leadership program I mentioned earlier. But if you need just a quick win and you're having a situation that's a bit more difficult, then contact me for an executive strategy session. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about this topic specifically, or anything else related to being a woman in leadership, to help you on your journey. So I provided you with step-by-step what you need to do if you are being challenged at work. And this is a topic that a lot of women in leadership struggle with, a lot of men in leadership struggle with. And this is a topic that can cover, regardless of what gender you are. This is just leadership. This is what happens in leadership. This is why people tend to struggle, because we are, majority of the time, as humans, we are prepared for those very friendly conversations. What we are not prepared for as leaders are those very hard, difficult, challenging conversations that happens in the wonderful world of leadership. If this information has provided you with any value whatsoever, and I hope that it has, because I'm giving you secrets that people are not talking about on YouTube, they're not going through algorithms, they're not necessarily sharing with you step by step what you need to do to at least initially address if you're being challenged in a meeting, then give this video a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would be happy to have you here. My mission here really is to help each and every one of you that are subscribed to my channel, or potential viewers that have not subscribed yet, or you're thinking about it. I really want you to communicate at a higher level than your peers. And in order for you to do that, you have to be able to learn and understand those advanced level of communication skills that majority of people and majority of leaders simply do not have. And the way that I do this with my clients and my audience here on YouTube and Instagram and on LinkedIn is by sharing with you real situations, real scenarios, real strategies that will help you. I am not here to share with you leadership models and situations that I have worked with other clients with as it relates to leadership. I'm here to share with you my perspective of leadership as a C-suite executive, as a director, and as a manager, and what I have seen that has been very successful in those situations that you really will deal with in the leadership world. Oftentimes people aren't talking about that. They may talk about theories, or you may have some other executive coaches that may speak in terms of how they have worked with clients in those leadership roles, navigate those challenges. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's a place for everyone. I genuinely believe that. But if you are at the point where you are really truly ready to elevate how you are communicating, how you're articulating your value, then this is the place for you to be. This is the place for you to be. This is what I specialize in, is in these real situations that come up, these hard situations that come up. How do you respond? How do you manage it? How do you still continue to maintain your executive presence? I deal with more of the complex situations. So if you're dealing with the complex situation as a woman in leadership, then I encourage you to reach out to me. This is my specialty. This is what I do. This is what I do. I manage those very complex situations that happen. You might be in a very challenging dynamic at work, or you may have some serious office politics that are going on, and you're trying to figure out how to navigate them. What do you do? How should you do it? When should you do it? This is why I'm here to support you, to help you with those very challenging situations that come up. If you are at the beginning of your leadership journey, or in the middle of your leadership journey, or perhaps you're at the end of your leadership journey, maybe you were a C-suite like I was, and you're at the point where you're deciding that you want to go forward to that next level in your career, and perhaps you want to start your own business. Maybe you want to become an entrepreneur. Maybe you want to be a consultant. You will always have to continue to refine how you are communicating with other people. And one of the taglines of my program is, for my women in leadership that I specifically directly serve, is women become great by how they communicate. And how you communicate plays a big role in your advancement. That's the same thing that goes with men that are following my videos and are part of my audience too. Men become great because of how they communicate. People become great because of how they communicate. So just know that even though I work specifically with women in leadership, the information I'm sharing with you as it relates to being a leader transcends that. It encompasses anyone that is really trying to go to that next level in their career, and they're ready to advance themselves to that level that they didn't know that they could do. So if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, feel free to let me know. Ask me anything. I'm here to really support you. No question is too challenging for me as it relates to leadership and navigating some of those very complex situations. It's really not. I've done a lot. I've seen a lot. And I'd be happy to support you on your journey. If you have a topic specifically that you want to learn more about and that you're not seeing a lot of insight on as it relates to YouTube, then let me know. Place it in the comments on any one of my videos. I do personally read my comments, and I do screen them obviously to make sure that they're appropriate, because sometimes on YouTube, if you don't know, sometimes you get people that say stuff that's not quite appropriate. But nonetheless, if you have a topic specifically that you want to learn more about, then put it in the comments below. If it's related to leadership, salary negotiations, interview preparations, working on your resume, developing your executive presence, developing your executive communication skills, anything whatsoever, then feel free to let me know. And if you are looking for a very deep transformation, you are at a point in your career, whether you're at the beginning of your leadership journey, the middle, or the end, where you know there's something that's missing, you know that you can go to that next level, but there's a reason why you're not, then contact me for The Real Executive Woman. It is a transformative leadership experience. There are 6 modules in the program. I'll go over them very briefly just so that you have an idea to see if it's something that you might be interested in. The first module of the program, we go through a baseline. We collect the baseline in terms of how you feel about the remainder of the 6 modules, so that we have an understanding of where you are right now as a woman in leadership, in terms of where you're trying to go, and where are the areas that we specifically need to focus on just for you, because everybody has different places where they have to focus, and your area of focus that you need support in may be different than someone else that's in the group, or vice versa. So we focus on your baseline first. The next module focuses in on developing that unshakable confidence. The third module focuses on executive communication, so that you know how to communicate at that higher level in the written format, or in the verbal format, also in public. The next module specifically works on public speaking essentials. So knowing how to communicate in public, how to get the attention of the audience and really speak to who you want to speak to. The next module focuses in on executive presence, which is a very big module. It's a huge part of my program. And then the final one is executive leadership, how you're working with your teams and being able to lead them to that next level on their journey. So if this sounds interesting to you, then contact me, let me know. I'll be happy to share with you some more information, have a brief call with you to see if it's a good fit for you or not. And if you are looking for some additional support, specifically one-on-one, then contact me for an executive strategy session. I'll be happy to provide you with a very good foundation, a executive plan to help you navigate these challenges you're facing right now, whether it's in career development or job transitions, or you just need some executive coaching, then contact me. I'm here to support you on your journey. This is what I do. This is why I'm here. And I'm just really very blessed to have all of you watching this video. Whenever you're watching this video, whether it's now in 2025 or you're watching it years from now, I'm just very honored that you took some time out of your day to spend with me and to talk about a challenging topic, a challenging situation that comes up. So I will see you all in the next video. I am going to modify my live schedule just a bit. So most of you know that I go live Monday through Friday. I've been going live Monday through Friday for months on end now. I started early in 2025, and I went live so much that YouTube noticed I went live so much. And so they have contacted me and invited me to be a part of their live streamer research panel, where I'm going to help them shape the world of live streaming on YouTube, along with, I'm sure, other content creators as well. And that has been my schedule. I am modifying my schedule briefly just for this interim time period. So instead of Monday through Friday, my live streams are going to be Tuesday through Friday. Still around about the same time, just depends on when I arrive home, but they'll be Tuesday through Friday. So if you see the Monday is not there, the reason why is that I have several clients I'm working with, and I have to do a bit more work with them on the Mondays, and then I go back into my Tuesday through Friday lives. So if you are seeing that difference, that is exactly why. I want to make sure I explain that to you as a part of my audience, because if you're still watching this video, then you obviously are probably subscribed and wanting to know more information. So lives are going to be Tuesday through Friday. I'm doing more consistent shorts, so I'll be recording some short form videos for you all. Check out the community posts. I have lots of topics that are in my mind and a lot of my clients are dealing with. And if you have a topic specifically, I'd be happy to do a poll either on Instagram, LinkedIn, or on my YouTube communities tab to get some insight from you so I can know what you're dealing with. If you want to reach out to me, contact me at Dr. Jacinta Lamontai on LinkedIn, or you can reach out to me at Excite Excellence on Instagram. And then, of course, I'm here on YouTube, and you can contact me by sending something in the comments, and I will respond back to you. So I hope you all have an amazing day wherever you are. And if you have any other questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.